Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blazing Pucks podcast.
Oh, shit.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Victor Manuel.
And I am your other host, Carmichael Manfredi. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 66 of the Blazing Pucks podcast. Canucks podcast you listen to when your kids are not around. And why is that, Victor?
Well, because we like to drop a couple of fucks, we cut a couple of shits, couple of fucked up jokes, and yeah, that's just the Vancouver degeneracy at its finest.
You got that right. You got that right. But man, do we have some interesting Canucks hockey to get into this episode, don't we?
Degenerate Canucks hockey. What in the
exactly?
fuck?
Exactly. What it just really outlines that really roller coaster that this season has been. And the inconsistencies in the boys' games. But we are recording this on Tuesdays, so they're playing the Flames in about 20-25 minutes, depending on when puck drop is, which fucking who knows.
Yeah, it takes
we have a better shot knowing when the big earthquake's going to hit us here than we do knowing when puck drop actually is going to hit. But yeah, Victor, what are some things we're getting into today?
Well, we are definitely going to get into the LA Kings game, break down a little bit of what went down there. And then, Carm, what are we going to get into after that?
We are unfortunately going to get into some of the dreadful Edmonton Oilers game, which, of course, we have to dissect a few things there. And, Victor, what are we going to go over last?
Well, the last thing that we're going to go over is talking about our boy Petey and taking a look at really, what can be done to solve this team defensively, what kind of reinforcements are out there.
That's exactly right. So what do you say we get this show on the road?
Let's get this show on the road, baby.
Woo. All right. Oh. So that LA Kings game, I mean, I'm going to start that off by saying I think that was hands down one of the best games that they played this season, if not the best. What do you think?
I agree. They were so composed. They played to their system, even though they got punched in the mouth first by giving up the first goal. They were able to literally, like that second and third period, they just gave it to LA.
Yeah, which is what we saw last year, right? Mm-hmm. That kind of where they suffocate you defensively and they don't give much up, especially protecting the guts of the ice there. Like the third line, man, that game, there was a good minute and a half stretch where they kept the Kings like hemmed in their zone just because they relentlessly forecheck. I feel like I use that word a lot when I talk about that third line, but just getting in the way of passes, making sure that the LA Kings that are trying to clear the zone are having the absolute worst time on the ice. Really, really great to see that, especially in that game. And I mean, Teddy Blueger, I can't say enough good things about this guy. Continues to be a fucking stud.
Teddy Blueger, man, I know the Canucks usually do those awards of like where we rank our players. He deserves the unsung hero at this point right now.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt.
Dude.
And like I was saying in a few episodes ago, I mean, the third line last year was, one of those gut punches that we used to be able to put on the teams. And especially once, Miller heals up and Petey looks like he's getting his game form. Hopefully he looks like he's getting his game form back here. But the common denominator with that, crossing fingers, because we have Garland up in the top 6 now and Joshua obviously hasn't played a game quite yet. But the common denominator for the third line is Teddy Blueger, man. I think we kind of undersold his importance on that line. I know I did.
Well, the thing is, what I'm seeing with Teddy Blueger is we mainly got him to be a penalty killer, face-off kind of third line grinder, which he has been. But like Sherwood, we're seeing that they have so much more to give to their game. And like I said, the way how Rick Tocchet is coaching, the system that they've been put into, along with the team chemistry that is being built, Teddy Blueger finds himself owning his game, being relentless. I know you've said that as well, but he is genuinely fucking hard-nosed, relentless with any forechecking battle, board battles. He makes smart plays. He knows how to drive and like be around the net, create chaos. There's not really much, and he's doing that on both ends of the ice. Yeah. There's not really much more you want from your third line center.
They're honestly like usually teams get maybe one of those two. Meaning like he's relentless on one side of the ice, right? If he's relentless defensively, then he's not really going to take many risks going up the ice, so he may not join the team in the rush, right? So you're kind of losing rush chances there. But a lot of the times, the guy will be, very good offensively, but very, very lazy defensively, which poses a huge problem. So we kind of, I don't want to say have a unicorn, but we have somebody like Teddy Bluger who's great on both ends of the ice, and he's playing a third line center role. I mean, fuck, lock this guy up longer term, man. I don't know. I know we got him for another couple of years, but I'm even more thankful that we made that signing.
Me too. I didn't think he would be such an integral piece 2 seasons in a row, but here we are, Teddy Bluger. Teddy Bluger sounds like James Bond villain.
He really does, hey? He really does. Either a James Bond villain or like one of those guys that James Bond teams up with, like, halfway through the movie, they have a common enemy. They both try and kill each other first, and then they realize they're after the same guy. Oh, man. By the way, I just saw it. Oh, it's a little off topic here, but N64 is coming out, and the first thing I thought of, coming out again, I should say. First thing I thought of was playing GoldenEye. Like, man, that was childhood right there.
Dude, N64, 4K, for $240, cheaper. Like, honestly, that seems fucking wicked. And
100%.
007 GoldenEye, bro, has brought so much nostalgia to my life. And I'm sure to listeners out there, if you have had that wonderful experience of fucking playing GoldenEye with your buddies, 4-quadrant split screen, amazing. If not, get your shit together, get an N64 off Facebook Marketplace, and go fuck yourself and play it.
It's exactly right. I think that's where my anger issues first started.
Okay.
Right? So, someone's screen peeping you, and you just like some fucking whack them over the head with the control.
Yo, speaking of anger issues, you know who actually has a wonderful fucking anger that I'm getting a kick out of whenever he gets a penalty? Fucking Filip Hronek, man.
Dude, that man, guy, it's his goatee, man. I'm telling you.
Yo, it's fucking his face, dude. Every time when he had gotten a penalty in that LA Kings game, and then he's just
he got two.
I know, and his face both times is like, "I'm gonna fucking murder you for giving me this uncalled for penalty." In the most like blunt way possible.
Oh, 100%, dude. The Stripes that game for sure had like a security escort on the way home. Like, yeah, but I mean, now actually, since you brought up Hronek, I thought him and Quinn have definitely been one of the better pairs, obviously the best pair that the Canucks have had. But I don't know about you. I'm noticing Hronek more and more. He's starting to kind of feed into the offense more. Are you finding that too?
Yeah, I'm seeing that. To be quite honest, I'm not surprised by how his season is going so far. I will be very honest. Like, when the Filip Hronek trade happened, of course, I was stoked that we were getting a right-handed defenseman, but I still was kind of like, is Filip Hronek really the guy? Only for the reason of that, he's kind of known to be streaky offensively. During his time with the Red Wings, there was moments where he was being used as power play 1 quarterback, but then would cool off pretty heavily and then go back to power play 2, sometimes mainly just being a PK guy at best throughout the season when he was a Red Wing. And that is kind of what I expected with him moving to Vancouver initially. Now, of course, the Quinn Hughes factor, the chemistry that they had, that changes everything. And obviously, when you play with someone at the caliber of Quinn Hughes, the only thing that's going to happen to your game, excuse me, is it's going to elevate, because that's who Quinn fucking Hughes is. He elevates those around him. But I definitely do want to see him shoot more, and I like that progress in his game so far this season. That he is letting that clapper go. And, he's got to be like fucking, like Mighty Ducks too, man. Knuckle puck that shit. Knuckle puck.
I still have PTSD from high school from that, you fuck.
I'm sorry.
But it's all good. Totally worth it. But, Hronek showed last year, and he fucking game 7 last year versus the Oilers too. And actually against the Oilers, which we'll get in the next segment. But he has a fucking rocket, that guy.
He does.
He can shoot the puck, and I agree with you. I want to see him use that a lot more. but I'm noticing he's taking more of his chances to the net now. Maybe not skating it in, but I'm noticing him fire off that shot a little more often. So I want to see more of that with Hronek. But I mean, with just to kind of maybe conclude the LA Kings game, I mean, I came out strong in the third period, which I really, really liked. A lot of speed. LA just they couldn't solve them, right? The Canucks were skating. They were using their edge work really, really well. And then Quinn scored the third goal of the evening for the boys in blue.
Dude.
And honestly, could have scored at least another 2, in my opinion. Like they were buzzing.
Sorry to cut you off, but like,
all good.
Just for reminding me now, how fucking sick was that like shimmy Quinn Hughes had prior to the to like literally deke out and break Akil Thomas freaking ankles like he was fucking Steph Curry on the drive.
100%. 100. Like Quinn Hughes is playing better than he did last year, and I didn't even think he can elevate more than he did last year. Like right now, he's breaking guys and he's making people look fucking ridiculous this season so far.
Dude, he has some magic to him, and yeah, like you mentioning the third goal literally just reminded me of the fact that he even did that shimmy. You know, it's crazy. There's so much Canucks content that happens on a day-to-day basis, especially the fan base as passionate and as invested as Vancouver is in their team. You know, there's so many little tidbits we want to try to like recollect and remember. And it's I gotta admit, I love that it's the gift that keeps on giving, dude. It really does.
Yes. It really is. And I mean, with being Canucks fans as long as we have, I mean, we've signed up for this life of anxiety, chaos, and misery. And now it's actually starting to be fun. But at the same time, there's so much content around the team. It's never a dull moment, that's for sure.
It's really a never a dull moment. You're right. Following this team has been fun. And speaking of fun, that helps me get into our first ad read for the day. Because you know what is fun? The quest for the fucking Stanley Cup, my ladies and gentlemen. The puck's already dropped in the 2024-25 season. It's been pretty bonkers, no matter who you cheer for. And you can get in on all of the action that's out there through DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy to get started. Seriously, just bet on something simple like picking a team to win, put some money into the app, pick plus minus being, they're the favorites, plus being they're the underdogs. Take your pick. And then from there, you can select your team and place your first bet. And if you are new to DraftKings, listen up, because new customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see DKNG.co/ice. Copyright NHL 2024. All rights reserved. Boom. We're Costco, guys.
Nicely done, man. Way to tie that one off, man. Way to tie that one off. Great job.
Thank you. We're Costco, guys. Of course we die a warrior's death, Of
course we do. 100%. There was a point in time, though, when you were doing that ad read that I was waiting for like a yee or something like that,
Go out, Kansas.
Oh man, well, you know what, they're not going to be doing a lot of laughing in this next segment here, because we are going to recap the 7-3 debacle. I mean, Canucks just took that one in the derriere with no Vaseline. There's no doubt about it in that one.
It hurt.
It really did. And I mean, there was a point in time where it looked like it was going good. It's unlucky. The one thing maybe we'll start from the beginning, right? I mean, they gave up that first goal. They basically killed off Quinn Hughes' penalty, right? Like they had done the job. They did what they had to do. And then The rebound came off the back of the like the boards behind the net and right to Draisaitl. I mean, is what it is.
Yeah. And honestly, shout out to Draisaitl for the hustle he had to keep that play alive for the first goal as well, too.
100%, right? 100%. But, you know, you don't have to really shoot yourself in the foot too much at that point if you're the Canucks, because, hey, listen, you killed off pretty much the whole penalty. Conceded a goal in the end, which, hey, it is what it is. But, I mean, I felt like
before
100%. They've been there before. But the problem that I had with that first period is the fact that the Oilers got super comfortable, and I felt like they controlled pace for that first period.
Yeah, I would agree. I saw that the Oilers definitely had more control of the ice overall as a team that game. You know, and there was a lot that I think the Canucks defensively were letting slide, or maybe they were either miscommunicating with each other, but they really were not on their game. And the Oilers are a team that you give them any space, you give them any lanes, man, they'll find ways to punish you for it.
Yeah, that's what they did. Bad. Yeah, and that's what they did the whole game, really.
Yeah,
right? The entire game, right? Like, you're 100% right. Like, the entire game, like, the Canucks would give him an inch, and all of a sudden, you know, you reopened a scar from 20 years ago. Like, oh, holy shit, they came barreling through. I know Rick Tocchet obviously spoke about JT Miller, but you know, not his best game. We can all admit that. But we have different news with Petey, because that was easily his best game of the season.
Yeah, I found it very interesting to see that he was able to take a good step forward, even amidst a very shit game overall as a team. Yeah, I'm on the belief that Millsy has to be playing through something and just had one of those off nights. We're human. But I'm confident in JT Miller being able to get back to his game, no problem.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see Petey make this progress.
Totally, right? And I mean, with JT Miller, he's found a way to be productive, for lack of a better word. I mean, he had the Ian Cole effect for the Oilers last game. I mean, like, you know, that lazy pass in the offensive zone caused the third goal there. But bringing it back to Petey, I mean, his line drew the Leon Draisaitl line for the majority of the game. But when he was on the ice, the Canucks outchanced the Oilers 9-3. Now, if you're drawing Draisaitl as often as you are for most of the game, he also was the only Canuck on the ice that was playing up. Fucking saying the obvious here, but he was the only player on the team with multiple points.
True.
He was making things happen. I saw him. There was one play, I can't remember when it was, but he had the puck in the middle, and rather than just ringing it around the boards, he actually just he used his outside edges and just kind of like moved and ended up passing it off to a D-man. So hopefully that means that he's getting out of his head a little bit more, starting to actually just focus on the game. But you know, a lot of things that I saw with PD's game, I really did like, right? 10 minutes of ice time, great defensive plays, PK. I swear to God, the more PD plays on the PK, the better he is as a player. Have you noticed that?
Dude, I don't even know why he was not remained as a PK player to begin with. He was so effective on the penalty kill. And that in himself, what makes him effective is his IQ, his ability to get a good stick and read the plays and have a quick opportunity to make a breakaway happen. 100%. How many times have we seen that before from PD in the past?
Dude, a ton of times, right? And I mean, I get the notion of taking him off the PK, or taking him off the PK, right? I understand that, right? You want to rest him up. You don't want him out there blocking shots and getting hurt, right? Totally get it. But that's not necessarily what he does on the PK. You're absolutely right. He gets into lanes, he reads plays. But more importantly, like, if you have someone speedy playing with him, he can spring you for a short-handed chance. Right? So I don't think I want to see him tonight on the PK. I think that's when he plays his best, because what's been his main issue, we've all said it, it's between the ears, right? It's confidence, that's his issue. What's his the easiest thing, especially for a Swede, right? Like, Swedish players learn the defensive side of the game. Every single player does. That's not something that you have a problem with. Most of them are good two-way. So where do you go? You go put him where he's the most comfortable. If he can excel defensively, hopefully that builds his confidence enough to excel offensively.
Absolutely, because I feel like the offensive side of his game is a lot of it is rooted in his natural talent.
Exactly.
You know? He's Obviously, he continues to work and refine that. It doesn't come with just existing. But if he is able to round out his defensive game and maybe even make himself more like I'd say in the style of like a Barkov,
Yeah,
type center. Because Barkov still racks up a shitload of points when he's on his game, but he is the most defensively sound while being just as center while being just as dynamic on his vision, his IQ, and his playmaking.
exactly.
Now,
Right.
he can be that plus more. It'll come in time. It's good to see that. What I'm actually fascinated though is I got to give shout out to that hand-eye coordination on the move.
On
It
the
wasn't just
on
him
his
for the
goal, you
goal
mean?
for the goal that he had. It wasn't just him trying to battle for position. No, it was him coming in sneakingly, skating in, and then just reading the tip from that.
Yeah. He went to
Right?
the soft part of the ice there where he had room to move, and the
Mhm.
shot came, and it came with some fucking pace too. It wasn't like just like a little lob. Like it came with some steam on it.
For
You're
sure.
absolutely right. He tipped it down and it went 5-hole. Like, and the look on his face said it all, though. Hey,
Dude,
like
it's so
he
good
doesn't
happening.
normally selly like that when he scores, but you could tell that one he was like, I fucking earned that one.
100%, dude. And I want to see him continue that stride because it's so nice to see PD being effective and getting closer and closer to the player that we know he is.
Exactly, because once he hits that level, like when's the last time we saw this entire? Remember the last time this entire team was going? Like JT Miller was going, Brock Besser was going, Pedersen was going, Hughes was going, Demko was going,
Mm-hmm.
even Hronik, Garland, obviously, all those guys, the third line. We were a fucking juggernaut.
Absolutely.
Like we were a juggernaut, and we still, we're one game away from the conference final with the team that we had last year. So I really hope that we can get some parallel output from this team, because that's really going to be, like we've said, that's going to be the key for them in the next stage here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I hear you on that. Here, I have a question for you though. Now we're still talking about the Oilers game and stuff here. So the Canucks clearly are better on the road than they are in home.
Yes.
And I know obviously a good chunk of the initial home games were with Seelovs in that over Lankinen. But of course, Lankinen now is part of one of those ugly home losses. Our record at home has been pretty crap. What are your theories or thoughts behind this? Because
I don't know. Like, part of me wants to say maybe it's the they kind of get frightened at the spotlight at home, but I mean the spotlight during the playoffs last year, especially when it intensified, I mean it seemed to amplify them more than anything.
yeah.
So I'm not too sure personally, man. I want to attribute it to that because it's the easy answer, but then I saw what happened in the playoffs and I'm like, I'm not too convinced,
Yeah, I obviously don't want to put everything on the fans alone. I will say perhaps our fan base could be a factor into this. I'm in the belief of that. I mean, some fucking dickwad threw his jersey on the ice. Like, come on, bro. This is
Like,
not the Benning fucking green era of getting them out and needing change.
exactly.
We're third in the Pacific.
Exactly. They're not in a bad spot. They're not even like to the dipshit that did that, man. Like, they're not even playing their best hockey, and they're still in a playoff spot by American Thanksgiving, which is a pretty big, American Thanksgiving was yesterday when we're recording this, right? So they're safe for now. Obviously, they need to get better, but yeah, that was not a jersey on the ice type of thing. And for the idiots that are going on PD's social media, I mean, if you feel the need to do that, hockey is just not for you. Like, I think Halford and Bruff are talking about this, right? Like, and I'm going on a tangent here, but like, fuck, get a life, man. This is supposed to be fun.
I 100% agree with you, man. Like, in the end, it's a huge there's bad apples in every fan base, but of course some fan bases are more passionate or have different behaviors than others. And while I wouldn't rank ours as the worst. Yeah, obviously the bad apples really fucking stink.
They totally do.
But I personally think it's either that or maybe because there's been common complaints about the ice at Rogers Arena being shit, that the ice fucks us over. Who knows? But I want to
Yeah,
see
and
the
they
boys.
would have had that excuse last year too. Like I don't really know
Okay.
what's going on. I also just think maybe it's the quality of teams that are coming in.
Mhm.
Maybe that might have even factored into to why somebody threw a jersey on the ice, because we lost that game to, the Oilers, who,
Quality team.
we do not like the Oilers in this town, that's for sure, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm hoping that they're able to get this dub tonight against Calgary. I think that'll do wonders for their confidence. But you know what does wonders for your wallet though is when you go to get tickets and you use GameTime.co. Oh, guys, what's the best part about going to a hockey game live? Is when you can feel that chill of the ice and you can hear the clack of the slap shot, or whatever the hell you want to call it. And now it has never been easier to get tickets now because GameTime.co exists. GameTime has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets, because who the fuck has got time for that shit? So, Vancouver, tonight, the Calgary Flames are in town, but it'll be a little too late for you guys. But if you are looking to go see Zach Bryan, remember, Game Time doesn't just have tickets for sports. It has tickets for events such as Zach Bryan and even the Nutcracker at Queen E Theater. If you want to go old school for Christmas, depend on Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks, because they have seat views. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. You can see how great or awful the tickets are. All you got to do is download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Once again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. And we are going to hear from our second ad read over here, our friends over at Raycon. You guys know what the most exciting thing about a Black Friday or Cyber Monday deal is? It's getting an amazing deal that you wouldn't normally get, except with Raycon. Because with Raycon, you get an amazing deal on premium audio every day of the year, but that doesn't mean they're not having any sales for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Far from it, y'all. They're actually doubling down on their amazing value by offering my viewers up to 30% site-wide. A Black Friday Cyber Monday deal you'll appreciate every day. Raycon's everyday earbuds. Especially if you haven't checked out their latest model, which includes plenty of new features that make them even more of a must-have for any audio lover. For example, they now feature a 32-hour battery life and multi-point connectivity that lets you pair with two devices at once. Holy fuck. Raycon's everyday earbuds also come with active noise cancellation. It's a feature that's a must-have for me on long flights and getting through my work day, because I would not make it through my work day without my headphones. But that one thing can be difficult to find at an accessible price point until now, because that's another thing. Although Raycon's quality rivals some of the biggest names in premium auto, Raycon start at just half the prices as the other guys. So they're already an incredible deal, even before you factor in that Black Friday or Cyber Monday offer of up to 30% off site-wide. Raycon's everyday earbuds are also available in a variety of vibrant colors, so you don't have to just stick to the standard issued white or black earbuds sticking out of your ears. Like, maybe you want to get purple, maybe you want to get brown, maybe you want to get magenta like Victor mentioned last week. Now, the perfect time to scoop them up is if you haven't already, and don't worry, if you're not as impressed as I am, Raycon offers a 30-day happiness guarantee, so you really can't lose. It's time to save big for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Go to buyraycon.com/THPN today to get up to 30% off site-wide. That's right. You'll get up to 30% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/THPN. THPN. All right, we're back.
Magenta fucks, by the way.
Magenta does fuck. You got that right. And I don't say that very often.
Dude, honestly, I think your lungs deserve a gold medal right now for that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I've done a lot of damage to them in my life, so. But anyway, I definitely wanted to touch upon our the title of this episode is Demko nearing a return. I mean, he was practicing in full gear. He was taking shots from his teammates. We're definitely seeing progression, right?
Good progression too.
Exactly, right? So we're not so far, touch wood, there hasn't been a setback. And thankfully, there isn't a huge need to rush him back into the net, which may or may not have happened last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance, and this is what I'm hearing, is there's a chance that he could play by the end of this month.
I heard that report too. I don't want to have my hopes up.
Me neither.
But if that is the case,
how big would that be for this team?
It would be incredibly astounding. Hats off to Kevin Lankinen for being a beast and a stud at the same time, holding the fort down. But Demko does add, when he's at his best, a whole new level to who's between the pipes.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
He is a goalie who can steal you games. He is a goalie who can win you games. And he has the ability to make some of the most incredible out of this world type saves when you need it the most.
Exactly. Now, the Canucks have a very interesting, if everything works out, they have a very interesting option. Assuming that Lankinen can continue his play, right? Because, what's something that we've talked about this offseason is we have to find a backup that can offload some of Demko's games, right?
For sure.
Now, Artie, fair enough. He's not ready. It was great to see him go down to the AHL recently and pick up a dub. I think that was great for him. Very, very happy to see him get that. Shout out to the Artie party. But now they have Lankinen coming in. Now, you're not going to get him for under $1 million. I don't think you'll get him for under $3 million for the next few years. Now, would you be comfortable paying a goalie like Lankinen like that to take the load off of Demko? Maybe we get more longevity for Demko's career here.
Yeah, absolutely. I have no problem with that. Again, the situation we have with Demko is special.
Yes.
It's an injury that no other goaltender has had to deal with. There's no fucking medical playbook for this. He is the guinea pig.
Yes.
And with that, you need to take care of him. And I know I think also this is maybe the organization's karma in overworking the shit out of him during our tough years, recent tough years, I'd say, in the last 4. And, it's unfortunate, but with a scenario like that, I think having Lankinen on and doing what we can to keep Lankinen or a very solid backup goaltender that can honestly maybe potentially shift it to a 1A, 1B, maybe.
Yeah.
Would be a very ideal situation for the Canucks, both on Demko's side and the organization side.
Yeah, totally, right? Because then this way, obviously it's going to depend what Demko looks like when he comes back, right? I don't think he comes back unless he's looking like at least, 85% of who he is.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the bare minimum. There's no way he comes back if he doesn't look anything, if he looks anything less than that. Because I'll take 85% Demko over most of the tendies in the league, to be honest with you, right?
100%, dude. And 85% Demko still is dynamite.
Exactly, right? So to take that. And then now you also have Lankinen, who, first of all, chose Vancouver. So I'm sure that they've had this sort of a conversation with them before he even signed. Like, hey, listen, if you show us you're reliable, we'll give you the term. I'll give you what you want, right? Because we're going to need to take a load off of Demko. So you imagine basically guaranteed goaltending for the Canucks, no matter what happens.
Put
it like that, right? If you can do that, and then you can, maybe get somebody to shore up, really just a defenseman away, right? Ideally, you'd like to. Good stable defenseman away. Go ahead.
Dude, what I'm gonna say here is that like I'm still fascinated by how steady, no matter what it looks like, that our goalie pipeline still continues to be rock solid no matter what. Like
even changing the coach too.
Dude, seriously, from Markstrom days all the way to now, holy shit.
Yeah, I'd even go back to Miller days.
Yeah, Ryan Miller. You're right. Actually, that is completely correct. Fucking dude, it's insane. But yeah, you know what? We are a top 4 defenseman away, I believe. I genuinely believe once this team's on forward wise is fully healthy, and then we get our boy Demko back, and even if he's not the same 100% player, like you mentioned, 85% Demko is still amazing. And with the way Lankinen is playing, I think we would be a top 4 defenseman away from being another contender again.
Yeah, and I mean that's the goal here, right? That's what we're looking for. That we're looking
pushing for.
Exactly. So, with that being said, we're hoping Demko comes back sooner than later, obviously. But from what it looks like, I mean, immediate defensive reinforcements, they're not coming anytime soon, right? There's a lot of teams that are kind of wobbling. We did see the Penguins make a trade today. They sent Lars Eller back to Washington. So, I mean, that might be a sign of things, right? Especially the fact that they just got pummeled.
So bad.
So bad. So, I mean, we talked about Marcus Pettersson. I think it was last week, right?
Yes.
Maybe it was the week before. Yeah, we talked about Marcus Pettersson. I mean, if the Penguins keep wobbling, maybe we see a trade for him sooner than later. Hopefully it's the Canucks that are getting him. But
well, I know that the Canucks would be all over Marcus Pettersson because he is ideally a defenseman that, like we mentioned last episode, one that would fit the system and style of play we need from a top 4 blue liner. And as well, that motherfucker can hit. I actually recently saw a Reddit highlight just before we started recording not too long ago of someone posted on our Canucks shout out of Marcus Pettersson laying out Tanner Jeannot. So,
oh shit,
that makes me want him more as a Canuck now.
Oh, absolutely, I do. Buddy, Tanner Jeannot is he's got a bounty on his head in Vancouver here, man. Like
without a doubt.
And that's a division rival that he plays for as well. So I don't think he's ever going to get let down when he comes into this barn.
No. He's
speaking of which, by the way, sorry to cut you off. Farewell to Daniel Sprong.
Yeah, we haven't even mentioned that.
We haven't even mentioned Daniel Sprong quickly. We got a couple minutes here before we wrap up, but that was a very short-lived experiment, eh?
9-game legend, Canucks legend, Daniel fucking Sprong, who will be notoriously remembered for that amazing elite preseason goal.
Exactly. And he started the season off with the goal. That's what he did.
Bro, I'm sorry. I don't fully understand it. I trust in the Tocchet Rutherford Alvin plan. And, fucking I'm sure our forward depth is still amazing. With or without him. But I definitely didn't think it would be this short of a time that he would be more of a deadline piece. But yeah, I guess 9 games was more than enough to be like, yeah, you're not really going to fit here. And what you're bringing to the table, we already have foreign players who can do that. So take care.
At a lower rate, number one, because them accruing cap space as we see with the cap judo that they're playing right now.
Yeah,
I'm sure that has a lot to do with it as well. And they probably feel like, Lecker Mackey's getting his NHL debut tonight. Very exciting. They're actually already hit the ice. So, I mean, if he shows well, maybe this won't be his first stint with the Canucks. Maybe he'll go down to Abbotsford after a few games, which I totally expect. He'll learn and he'll refine, but I feel like they feel like their farm guys can achieve what they needed from Sprong a lot better than him without having defensive liabilities.
Yeah, basically. And hey, listen, it's a business after all. Every organization's focus is to build a winning team and make good, sound moves. So, yeah, while it is a shocker, you know, it is what it is. Honestly, there's no other fucking way to put it.
Honestly, this is how I'll end it here. Sorry to cut you off.
Exactly.
What I love about this management team is when they make signings that they feel like are not working out, they don't just lean into the decision, they get rid of the decision. They're like, hey, this didn't work out. Let's get you out of here. Let's get somewhere where you're going to fit and we're not going to want to kill you.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about this management staff is they're real when they, okay, this wasn't the best choice. Okay, let's figure out an exit strategy, right?
Yeah, they know how to fire fast.
They do. That they do. But anyway, guys, looking at the time here, we are going to wrap up this session, episode 66 of the Blazing Pucks podcast. Thank you so much for listening once again and keeping up with us week to week. If you like the podcast, give us a follow on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at The Blazing Puck. Shoot us an email at theblazingpuckspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Victor, what can they do if they really, really like the podcast?
If you really, really like the podcast, then hook your boys up with a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you choose to listen to us. We'd really appreciate that. Set up the auto downloads on Spotify as well. Help your boys out. Pre-download it and then hear it whenever the fuck you want. We are grateful for that. And the final thing as well, if you really, really, really like us, we are on YouTube now. We live stream this shit on Tuesdays, post it on Spotify Thursdays. So if you want to follow us on the YouTube, be part of the action, follow us at theblazingpucks.com. Like and subscribe, mofos. But, Carm, in Blazing Pucks fashion,
much love.
And go fuck yourself.